Hey folks, my name is Kevin and it's time for a little bit more knife nerdy. Today we're unboxing the Phorus from Dylan Mallery. And Dylan Mallery is one of those young designers that just obviously has a really long career ahead of him. He's had a lot of success already, making knives that he's sold, like designs that he's sold to others. So it's things that have been under like the artisan cutlery name, something like that. But they've been his designs, but someone else's knife. And this is the first knife that he's done under his own brand, Mallery Designs. I'm really excited to check it out. This is OEM'd by Artisan Cutlery, but again, this is the first time he's done a fully Mallery Designs knife. I also just really like Dylan. Everything I've ever seen him say, everything I've ever seen him post, every story I've ever heard of him, he just sounds like a really kind, nice, interesting, compassionate person. So I think he's the type of person I'd like to support, but this is a knife that I really wanted anyway. It has nothing to do with just like buying it because it's him. Let's check this out. There's no tape to cut, so let's just rip this open. Ooh, okay. Number 10. So I was eagerly anticipating this coming out, and I was very quick to order. I think I got my order in within about maybe a minute, and I was the 10th order, so I think this means I'm number 10. Yeah, check that out. That's so cool. That's very exciting to me. I am number 10. That's a nice, clean, round number. This is the COA card, entirely handwritten. That is printed handwriting, and then the number and his signature is handwritten. It is his handwriting, but that part is printed. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is really cool. Okay, finally, let's take a look at the knife. Ooh, it's actually heavier than I was thinking in a good way. So when I saw that this was full carbon fiber, I was worried that this might be like one of those knives that feels hollow because of how light it is. But this, ooh, that looks nice. But this actually has a really pleasant weight to it. Like it feels like what you'd kind of want from the size. Centering is dead on. I love his logo, and I love the way that it has this little pivot collar here. He said, compared to his prototypes, that he was going to have a captive pivot in here, so I'm excited about that. I'm also really excited that there's a stonewash finish on this. I know some people love satin finish, but I love a user finish, and I think a stonewash is fantastic, and I was really excited to see he went that direction. Let's see how this flip goes. Oh, I messed it up. Oh! Okay, let's try that again. Oh, yeah! Okay. I'm doing weird stuff the way I'm holding it. Oh, wow, yeah, that's really good. That is really, really nice. Okay, how does it fit in my hand? I have medium-sized glove hands, but on like the smaller end of that medium spectrum, and so I'm always kind of surprised that he makes knives that are as long as he does, because he always says that he has small hands, and so this, if I'm not choking up, fits my hand really, really well. What happens if I choke up? I obviously have a lot sticking out if I choke up, but not in like a bad way. I think this feels really good. Like, yeah, that feels nice in my hand. And the plunge grind is extended all the way out to here, which means that it's full thickness up to here, so you're not like pressing against something that's thin and hard. How's that? Okay. Disengaging the lock is a little bit harder than I kind of expected. One of the things that he talked about doing is making sure that this sticks up slightly proud. And I don't really feel like it does that. Oh, there it is. I thought from the way he described it that this was going to stick up a little bit further. And I'm finding that I'm having a slight difficulty. That's really nice. Pushing it over to the point where it's all the way. Like if I push that all the way, this falls easily to my thumb. But I'm having difficulty doing that. Interesting. That flick is really, really good. The detent is tuned really well. Am I just pressing on this weird? That closes really nice. Ooh, it snaps in really nice. Ooh, yeah, it's got a very authoritative click there. That just feels great. Okay, I love the way this looks. I think this looks so cool. This is definitely on the longer and larger size for me, just because of the types of knives that I have. I tend to get because of just like the size of my hands and what I tend to use them for. But this feels really good. If I grip like this, yeah. Okay, so if I hold it like this, my fingers are right against this point right here. That feels great. So that feels like I'm not slipping at all. My thumb goes right on this pivot, which has just enough traction to feel good. And yeah, this feels really locked in. And this tip, I think, is going to be so good for kind of utility cuts. I think this is going to cut really nicely. Oftentimes, I'm used to knives a little bit shorter. And so if I have it in a pinch grip like this, I'm used to this kind of pushing into the back of my palm. And this definitely sticks down, but not in a way that this doesn't feel like it's going to slide out of my hand at all. This feels very locked in. What else would I notice about this? It does strike me as the kind of thing, it reminds me kind of like how you could, on this is the Kaiser Genie or the G, and they have, these two don't look very similar to each other, but it looks more similar when you have the carbon fiber version. I'll pop in a picture. The carbon fiber version makes this a little bit more of an obvious comparison. But where I was going with this, why I brought this out, is because this is one of those knives that has a slot here. I mean, technically this is kind of like a semicircle, but they've extended this up to make it a front flipper as well. And I did think at the time that that might be something that Dylan could do here. And I'm kind of wondering why he didn't do this a little bit more. Like, if it were me, I would have made this either completely flush, so there's no nub here, or would have extended this up to the point where you could use it as a front flipper. And so I'm a little bit surprised that this doesn't come out like a tiny bit more and meet this angle, so you don't feel that right there. But it's really, really minor. The flick on that is so good. Okay, how is the detent ball engagement? It's a little bit far. I would probably pull that up more. Like, this is probably going to be about 20 degrees is my guess. And I would rather it be more like 10. But that's not that big of a deal. Ooh, yeah. When you try to close it at all, yeah, this is one of those knives that keeps the thickness out far enough that there's enough weight out here. And especially because of this big cutout, the center of gravity of this knife is much further out than if this weren't here. So the combination of the full thickness up to here and this being gone means there's a good amount of weight far away, which means the lever arm distance is high. So when you try and swing this hook closed, it feels like it's being pulled in. It's that kind of like bias towards close feeling that makes it feel like it's almost assisted in the close. I'm purposely being very ginger, and this is not like lubed up and not broken in. And so the fact that it's like that kind of feeling, that's really, really cool. It's fun when a blade has weight out towards the top, and because it just feels really neat when it does that kind of like, you feel it clunk in a really nice way. And the action on that is so good. Okay, I'm gonna cut this short now. Not that it's short for me maybe. I am very pleased with this. I've been waiting months and this did not let me down. This is such a freaking cool knife. I love that action. Okay, catch you next time. Thanks for watching.